So I just recorded this whole like 5-minute segment and the mic wasn't on, so sweet. So we're gonna try this again. So today we have a few things on the to-do list, guys. First and foremost, we're gonna be diving into this broken exhaust stud that I have here. I actually have a couple, so I might do both of them. And I don't know if you guys remember, at least the ones that are new probably don't. But I said in a previous video that I was going to replace the stud while my car was still at the shop. There's just two up front here. You can barely see them. I'm going to mess with those a little bit later. And I didn't because I didn't have the right tap, you know, and so that kind of screwed me over there. So now here I am, you know, a little bit down the line, and this exhaust, this manifold developed a crazy leak. Like it wasn't bad before, but now I can really hear it. Like it makes like a ticking noise. Like pardon the really gross engine bay. This is probably we sprayed a lot of water in here with the first dyno day. I'll get to that in a second, guys, about the dyno stuff. So hang tight. But yeah, where was I? So about we're gonna fix that. We have to drill and tap that, so I have to take everything off. Turbo has to come off, downpipe has to come off, manifold has to come off, intake has to come off, intercooler piping coupler has to come off, oil feed has to come off, wastegate has to come off, O2 sensor has to come off, wideband has to come off, and then I have to unbolt the whole manifold. So I'm really kicking myself in the butt for not waiting and doing this, you know, when everything was just off. So I guess, you know, now I have to spend some time tonight and do all that. So yeah, we're gonna just, you know, but it'll totally be worth it. So luckily the Snap-on guy came to work today, and I was able to buy a tap because all the local stores around me didn't have one. So I almost would have had to go and, you know, get one offline, and that would have sucked because I would have to wait, you know, another week or whatever. So luckily he had one. It was like $12, which wasn't bad, honestly, for a Snap-on part. That's usually what they run anyways. So I have the tap, gonna be drilling that, and yes, so after that we're gonna be doing the TPS because apparently it's not either working or something's just not right. In this tune there's a little light that triggers when the throttle is shut, and that just controls a bunch of stuff, so we need to figure out why that's not happening. It was working before, and I think ever since I adjusted the actual throttle inside the throttle body, like the little butterfly, just to keep my throttle cracked, because as of right now I'm not running an AAC valve, which is the air idle control valve. And for me, I thought it would be cool just to not run it and have a cleaner look without the hose and all that stuff running to the intake, but it's just making tuning an absolute bear. So gonna get a little bung fitted onto the intake pipe there. I'll probably take that off and take it in and get it welded at my buddy's tomorrow. And then yeah, so that's pretty much it, I think, for today. If anything pops up, I'll let you guys know. Alright, so for those of you that follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I was getting my car dynoed. When was it? On Monday. On Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, I think so. So that happened, and we actually ran out of daylight. Well, when I say daylight, we kind of ran out of just time because of sound. The guy has neighbors. We ran out of time basically just due to sound. There's people that live close by, and he has like a contract with them to kind of, you know, just keep the noise down after a certain time. So we ran out of time. To be honest, it probably would have gotten done if I didn't have any boost leaks. So that's going to lead me on to my next little spiel here. Basically, you guys want to make sure that all your boost leaks are, or should I say all your couplers are very tight. Make sure they are very tight. And also, for me, I must have left it in my old intercooler piping or something like that, but with this tile blow-off valve I have, there's actually an O-ring that sits on the flange between the wastegate, or the blow-off valve, and the intercooler pipe, and I didn't have that, so that was creating a huge leak, and when we did a pull, it would just, it was not happy. So we then went to do a leak down test, or like, you know, compression, not compression test, but a vacuum leak test, which we said we were going to do first off, but for some reason we didn't, so that kind of bit us in the butt, you know, afterwards. So I kind of burnt up an hour of time there, and yeah, so basically when you guys go to get your stuff dyno, make sure everything is tight, super tight. Get some good clamps. T-bolt clamps are the best. Just make sure everything's super tight, and just to save yourself some time in the long run. So yeah, like I said, first day, you know, went well. The engine ran perfectly fine. We just gotta mess with some dwell settings on the coil packs. For those of you that are actually kind of, you know, knowledgeable about this stuff, if you guys are running this tune, or I guess, yeah, we'll go with this tune, because that's what I'm running. So if you guys are running this tune, if you guys have done the LS coil pack conversion, Let me know what you guys do to keep dwell up, because for me, dwell, we got dwell to like, it was like 4 milliseconds at idle, but as the RPMs climbed, it slowly started to drop. So let me know why. We have all the values maxed. I guess he's gonna figure it out. So I guess, you know, by the time this goes up, we might already have it figured out. But, you know, if you guys are, you know, if you guys know, just drop it down in the comments below, because that was one issue we ran into. But it definitely got better throughout the time that we were there, because at first it was really bad, and then the tuner was messing with it, and he got it to a little better spot, because he's never done this tune before. He's more of a German, like European tuner type of dude. He's very smart. He knows what he's doing. I trust him. He's a great guy. So yeah, so that's we're gonna go to another dyno day, probably sometime this week. I'm gonna go ahead and replace that exhaust leak first. That's kind of why I'm doing it today. Well, I want to get it done regardless, because it sounds horrible. Turbo blanket is coming. It should have been here today, which kind of bums me out. But yeah, so dyno day number 2 coming up. Stick around, guys. I'm on 10 pounds right now, 10 pounds of boost, and it feels way faster than last year. Last year I made 250 to the wheels with an RB25 turbo at 12 pounds. So really not bad. 12 pounds of torque with that as well. So yeah, this year it definitely feels faster with 10 pounds. Obviously it's a bigger turbo, so it's a Borg Warner S300 turbo for those of you guys that aren't familiar with that. It's a 60 mil with a T3.71 rear exhaust housing in the back with the 3 1/4 inch V-band, I think. So, so yeah, there's that. Now, for those of you that are still here with me watching this, I want you to give this video a thumbs up, because you guys are awesome for listening to me talk and ramble. But I gotta keep you guys updated. I feel like you guys would want to be updated. I personally would, so I hope you guys are watching this all the way through. That really makes me happy, and lets me know you guys are enjoying the stuff and want to see more. So yeah, and also if you guys are new, if you guys haven't commented before, say what's up in the comments. I reply to every comment almost, you know, all the cool ones. I reply to all the good comments. As long as you're positive, awesome, you know, I'm right there with you. Appreciate the love big time. So yeah, now we're just gonna go ahead and just start diving into the, you know, just disassembling all the stuff here, and we'll go from there. I need some power tools. Now when I put the downpipe back on, I'm probably gonna have to unbolt it from the test pipe section, just because you want to make sure it's seating up like perfectly parallel to the actual turbo housing. With V-bands, it's very easy to get a leak, so you want to make sure you have a super solid, you know, mating surface. So yeah, basically I just disconnected it from here for now, and then later I'll get underneath and disconnect it, kind of hold it with the jack stand, or have a buddy do it, you know, if you got someone with you. But yes, it just makes this a whole lot easier, and saves you some time down the line when you experience a leak because of you not doing this properly. So part of me is almost like, okay, I might just leave the manifold on and just drill and tap, you know, how it is. But then again, I see, you know, this one here, the second one in, that one's also broken, as you guys can see. That one there. I'm gonna definitely do that one. That's where the issue is. You can kind of see all the carbon on the outside there. And so I figured if I'm already diving in here, I might as well just take the whole thing off. Downpipe kind of got in the way. I wish I kind of took it off from the bolt down at the bottom. So I'll probably go ahead and do that now, as well as, you know, once that's out of the way, then I can go ahead and just take off the manifold, and then we'll start to tapping. And then, you know, in the long run, yeah, it would be nice to just kind of just do this top one here. That would probably solve our issue and just be done, because right there I can easily get the drill in there, I can easily get the tap. But that second one is, the flange is in the way, so manifold will definitely have to come off. So we'll do that. You know, like I said, we're in here, so might as well do it right. So, whoa, alright. So we got all the turbo parts off, and now we are also losing daylight. So I don't know how much longer you guys are going to be able to see stuff out here. I might bring a light out and, you know, I'll try and I'm obviously still gonna keep working, but I don't know how well the lighting is gonna be for you guys. But I'm gonna bring a light out. As you guys can see, we're missing a couple studs right up top there, kind of an empty gap. So we're gonna go ahead and just start drilling that out. You want to make sure you have a center punch and you know, drill exactly where you need to drill. You don't want that hole being somewhere way off or whatever. For me, my stud is completely broken off. There's no visual, you know, there's no visible part of the stud actually on there anymore. So you can't, you know, otherwise you might be able to take a pair of vice grips, or if you know how to weld, you could weld a nut on it. But yeah, in my case, got to drill and tap. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do now. Drill it. I use a 5/32 drill bit. I'm not too sure. It's something like that. So here's the drill bit. It's a 5/32 for a metric 10 by 1.25. That's exactly what these studs are. So go ahead and drill this out. Go ahead and tap. Be really careful with your tapping. Make sure you're going in straight so your stud isn't all crooked. But yeah, let's get to it and let's get this thing back together. So it's now day 3 with this whole kind of manifold stud project, and we kind of ran into a couple hiccups. I had it all together, had it all done, but I had to rip it all apart because we still had the leak. Basically, the main part of the whole project was to get the stud on. It's too dark down there. That's the stud right there that was missing, and that's really the one I wanted to fix. That one also, next one in, that one was also missing as well, but we got that one in, and it's seating in perfectly. But for some reason, this one, once I got any bit of torque on it with the bolt, like as I'm tightening it, or with the nut, it just snapped. Well, it didn't snap, it pulled right out and yanked all the threads out. So that's really not ideal. So even though it kind of popped out, I put everything back together and thought maybe that one that I did put in would kind of help out at least a little bit, not to make that, like, because it was ticking bad. Like, you know, that exhaust leak kind of tick, it just has that, you know, it just doesn't sound good. I did not like it at all. So I wanted to replace it and fix it as soon as possible. So that's what I did, and it turned out to be such a big project. Really, it was kind of, because I had to do it twice, which kind of sucks, but the good thing is I fixed it. So what I did, because obviously, like I said, I put it all back together, started it up, and it basically sounded the same. So that was a bummer. Now about that missing stud, like, it would be nice to have that put in, but I'm probably going to have to get something to get welded in, or like a helicoil, I guess. My dad was actually telling me about a helicoil. So maybe we'll do that. But now the hole is bigger than the actual stud, you know, because I ripped all the threads out. So not cool. But what I did basically is I had like those crush, you know, gaskets. Just kind of the metal with the holes. Just your average Joe looking kind of normal gaskets that you guys are kind of familiar with. And I put those on top of the metal gasket, the 3-layer gasket that I have. And it actually worked. So basically that kind of acted as like a little seal. It sealed up that little void that was kind of a gap. And because those crushed, you know, they compress, so there's a bit of give. So no more leak. Let me fire it up. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. I may have a leak down at the downpipe, like where I connected up to the test pipe. I'll have to see that because I think I heard something, but definitely not from the manifold, which is that was the main part of this build. As you guys can see, got ourselves a turbo blanket. Link for those in the description. Phase 2 Motor Trend. Thank you again, guys, champs. But let me fire it up, show you guys that we're leak-free, and unless it somehow just developed one while I was sitting, that would suck. I drove it to work today, super awesome. Actually just got back from work. This video is probably going to be super long, so if you guys are still here, give it the old thumbs up. You guys are awesome. Okay, bad news. The leak is back. So, we'll see what we can do. I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna see if I can figure something out here, but this has just kind of been of a pain, but hey, it is what it is. We're gonna fix it. We'll at least make it better. Maybe I'll be able to tighten a bolt, and maybe that'll kind of shut her up a little bit, but we'll see. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to end it here. It's probably going to be a super long video. Exhaust leaks back, but like I said, we'll fix it. Hope you guys have a good one. Hope you guys can hear me, and have a good one. Later, guys. Peace.